Welcome back again to Arinka's Kitchen. I have another family favorite recipe that I'd like to share with you. It's called cabbage rolls, TÖLTÖTT Kaposta. All you will need for this recipe is 2 medium head of cabbage, 1 medium onion, 2 cloves garlic, half a kilogram of lean ground pork, half a kilogram of lean ground beef, a 1/4 kilogram smoked ham, 3 medium eggs, 3½ cups cooked rice, 1 tablespoon of vegetable shortening, 2 teaspoons of paprika, 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of Vegeta or vegetable base, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and the juice mixture that you pour over the cabbage rolls is 1½ liters of tomato juice, a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and a 1/4 cup of sugar. So what I did was I started to cook the cabbage leaves, and I cooked them in boiling water for approximately 4 minutes. So you don't want to make sure that the cabbage leaves are half cooked before cooling them. You don't want them to be overcooked, because then it's much easier for you to roll the cabbages once you've got the meat mixture in between the cabbage. Okay, and then you cut up onions and garlic, cloves in fine pieces, and you fry it in shortening until it's slightly glazed. So I've done all that process already, and then I cook the rice halfway, and I slightly beat the eggs, the 3 medium eggs, with a fork, and then I mixed together the onions, the garlic, the paprika, the salt, the pepper, the eggs, the lean ground pork and beef, and rice. And then what I do is I fill each cabbage leaf with a meat mixture, and what I'd like to do is show you what the meat mixture looks like. So I'm just going to bring this over here, and so I've just put this into a smaller bowl, because what I've done is I've already rolled pretty much all the cabbage rolls, and what I want to do is I want to demonstrate to you how you should be putting the meat mixture in the cabbage leaves. So I'm just going to bring over the cabbage leaves, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 1 cabbage leaf like this, and some of them are going to be varying size. So I'm going to spoon in the center of the cabbage leaf, half-cooked cabbage leaf, and I'm going to roll it together like this. I'm going to fold it. I'm going to try to make it as neat as possible. I'm going to roll it quite tightly together like that, and then I'm going to show you another one. So I'm going to take a cabbage leaf. This is kind of like a medium-sized one, and I'm going to spoon in approximately about a tablespoon, depending on the size of your cabbage leaf. So, and all the ingredients are mixed together. So I kind of fold it around a bit, make it kind of neat, and I tuck it in, and I make sure that I roll it tight. And I'm just going to show you one more here. So this is what the cabbage roll actually looks like when you're putting it into the roasting pan, and I'm going to show you all the ones that I did. So I just kind of pre-rolled them. So you roll them lengthwise. You fill in as much as you can fit into the size of your cabbage leaf, approximately about a tablespoon. If it's bigger, maybe slightly more meat. And then you're just going to roll it. Roll the cabbage leaf tight, as tight as you can, so that when it cooks it's not going to fall apart. Then I'm going to take the last cabbage leaf, and I'm going to put this into, and I've pretty much used most of the ground beef. I might have a little bit left over, so I might just make some hamburger patties out of the leftover. If you have any leftover ground beef, you can make some hamburger patties and fry them down for hamburgers too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you. I'm just going to go over and wash my hands a bit in some water, soapy water. Just bring over the large roasting pan that I did. I'm just going to move this over here. And I'm going to show you all the cabbages. I've rolled approximately about 35. You should be able to get 35 cabbage rolls out of the one that I have, and I'm just going to show you how many I've made here. Now the leaves are slightly green, but when you cook them in the oven, they're going to turn brown. They're going to turn a brown color. And you're going to put you have to put the roasting pan lid on there when you put it into the oven. And I've got the oven preheated to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these on top of each other. And what I've done is I've put smoked ham, big chunks of smoked ham on the bottom of the roasting pan before I put the cabbage rolls in the roasting pan. So I've already done that. You can't really see it, but it is just chunks of the smoked ham. So I've bought some lean smoked ham at my deli, my favorite deli place. And I'm going to just arrange them like that. Now what I've done is I've mixed up some tomato juice, the tomato juice mixture. And the tomato juice mixture consists of 1.5 liters of tomato juice, a teaspoon of ground black pepper, and 1/4 cup of sugar. So I'm not going to add any more salt to this and any of the other seasonings there. So I've got that all prepared. So I'm going to pour this over the cabbage rolls. I'm just going to bring the camera down so that you can see what I'm doing here. So I want to make sure that there's sort of a juice base here. So I'm just going to pour it over the cabbage rolls. And this is going to cook in its juices. And of course the cabbage has a little bit of juice in it too. So I'm going to pour that mixture over the cabbage rolls. And it's going to cook. It's going to cook at 375 degrees Fahrenheit, so I've sort of for a certain number of minutes. So in my recipe, what I've mentioned is 375 degrees Fahrenheit and cook in a covered roasting pan for an hour, and then continue to cook it at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for another hour. And this can be served with rye bread. Now the variation, the tip, always check midway to see how things are progressing in the oven. It's important to do that. Check it, and my oven is sort of signaling that I'm ready to put this into the oven, so you need to preheat the oven. And there are some variations to this recipe. 1/4 kilogram of sauerkraut can be used in the place of the tomato juice mixture, and you make sure to drain off the juice off the sauerkraut. So you would use kind of like a strainer to wash it down a bit. And then you spread it on the bottom of the roasting pan before you put your cabbage rolls into the roasting pan. And then you add 4 to 5 cups of water to the bottom of the cabbage rolls. But this recipe that I'm making is with a tomato juice mixture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into the oven, and I'm going to let it cook for about an hour beginning initially, and then for another hour. So it takes about 2 hours for it to cook, and it is great. It is delicious. So this is a recipe that my grandmother would serve to her family, and if you're expecting a large group of people, this is great to serve also for dinner. And you can serve it with mashed potatoes. My mom sometimes served it with mashed potatoes, or she'd serve it with just some rye bread. And my mother would cook this up on special occasions like Christmas, like she would be expecting a lot of company, so she'd make a big pot of roasting pan of this for her guests. So this year I'm going to be doing that for my mom, and I'm going to be cooking up some for her, and I'm going to be taking it over on Christmas Day, and I'm going to be doing the cabbage rolls this year. So this can be frozen actually when it's cooked. Cool it down and put it into some freezer containers, and you can put 2 or 3 of these into a freezer container, and you can warm it up in the microwave, and you can serve, like I say, you can serve mashed potatoes with it, or you can just serve with your favorite rye bread. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in about 2 hours, and I'm going to show you how this wonderful recipe looks like. It's already smelling just great. Smell the spices and tomato juice and the garlic and the onions. So the house will be filled with great smells as this wonderful dish is cooking. Welcome back again to Irinka's Kitchen. I have a roasting pan full of cabbage rolls that I prepared, and they've been in the oven for approximately 2 hours, and so I've just taken them out of the oven and it's just smelling great in the kitchen right now. And what I'd like to do is show you what this great recipe looks like cooked. So I'm just going to bring the camera down and I'm going to show you this wonderful recipe. As you can see, it's been cooking in its juices for approximately 2 hours, and I put a little bit of sprinkled a little bit of ground black pepper on the top of it also. So this can be served also with the meat mixture. Can also have diced bacon in the meat mixture if you want it in the variation. So I've included it on my website in the recipe, so where the variations are. You can actually add diced bacon into the meat mixture, and you may use all beef or pork for the meat mixture depending on your preference, but my mother would add meat and pork together, so you can do either or. And then before you eat, you may add a dollop of sour cream on the top of the cabbage rolls. So I'm going to just show you what this recipe looks like with it on a plate. So I'm just going to pull over the plate here and show you exactly what this great recipe looks like on a plate. So here we have I have 3 cabbage rolls on a plate, and like I said, you can add a dollop of sour cream on the top of it. Some people also add bacon strips on the top of the cabbage rolls as they're cooking in the oven. So there's different variations. My family would use the smoked ham on the bottom of the roasting pan and put the cabbage rolls on the top of it, or you can use the sauerkraut as mentioned on the bottom of the roasting pan. So if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me at irene@irinkaskitchen.com or irinkaskitchen.com. Until next time, bon appetit, jó étvágyat!